So I'm hopping on the bandwagon because I ordered the Rebel Rose collection and it came in the mail today. So sweet. Um, I don't want to take too long of a video. So just gonna kind of jump right into everything. First off, I would like to disclaim I'm not going to do a first impressions or a makeup tutorial because with my current setup, that's not really in the cards right now. So I did play around with as many products as I could. It's all over my face. Um, so, disclaimer, I've used stuff. Um, but this is the packaging. First off, it's fucking huge. Like, Jesus. For anybody out there who collects makeup, I got the Midnight Mermaid collection back when it came out. I still have the box because I'm that weirdo. Um, but just for like a size comparison, like it's huge. Huge. So moving on with that. Yay. Um, so let's open her up. Okay, on the inside there's a picture of a couple of models and stuff, but like it's on their Instagram. I'm also not going to read any of the stuff because that would take forever. Um, so moving right into like the products that I've used and like my thoughts and stuff like that. I did use as much as I could just to give kind of like a better, more in-depth review of what I think, as if anybody gives a shit. Um, but moving on. So this is the Rose Toner that comes with their skincare. Now they've never done skincare before. So I was kind of excited about it just because like they're kind of hit and miss with their products sometimes, but they've definitely had a lot more hits than misses lately. So moving on, I was excited. It does smell like roses. It's not like over the top rose smelling though. It didn't make my skin feel dry, and actually like afterwards my skin felt kind of soft. So that was super nice. I like that it has like a spray thing instead of like a pour spout, because I feel like with pour spouts you use more product than you really need. Also, the skincare stuff comes in glass bottles, which is super nice. Um, Next up, the Rose Multi-Use Oil, which is this. It has like rose petals in it, so it's super fancy. Also, I have notes over here so that I don't take forever. So, if I'm looking over there, that's why. But let's see. Okay, so I didn't use this on my face, but I did use it on my hands, and it did make my hands feel softer afterwards. It also smells like roses, so there's that. Next up is the Rose Primer Serum, which is this like pinky stuff. It does smell like roses, but it doesn't get like, it gets tacky, so it does, I do feel like it holds your makeup on nicely, but it doesn't get like overly tacky like super glue and then you have to put a bunch of powder on and then you feel cakey and gross. Like it's a really good, it's a nice level of like it actually works but not super glue on your face. Um, it also does not leave your skin feeling oily, which I know some people worry about with like dripper things like this, especially since a lot of them are oil based. It does not tint your skin pink or make it glittery, which was definitely something that I was kind of questioning. It does, however, have like a dewy, brightening kind of finish to it, which I found really nice. My skin is really dry right now. I just went to California, which is quite a bit more humid than where I live. So, I was only there for like a day or two, but still, the skin is like mad at me. But it definitely made my skin look not dead and dry. Added a very nice glow, which I thought was nice. Moving on, the Jelly Bomb. So this is like a black green transparent jelly. It feels super nice on your lips, like very silky, very soft, definitely very moisturizing, which was really nice. But it does tint your skin pink, and it stains. So it turned my lips like pinker than this, and it's stained on my hand. So if that's something that you're worried about, if you're going to wear like a brown lipstick or something that doesn't have a pink undertone, I would avoid using that beforehand. So that'll definitely be a nighttime use for me type of thing. The last skincare product is a lip scrub. That's this. It doesn't have a whole hell of a lot of product in it, but I mean, it also, I think it like individually retails for like $3. But I mean, that's still a bit of product for $3. It does have like a faint like rose smell to it. I did not use this today just because I just got my lip re-pierced in the middle and I don't want to irritate it with like scrubbing things. But it does have a very faint rose smell. So if that's something that's going to bother you, maybe, don't. It also like it doesn't taste super sweet. It kind of has like a flowery taste to it. So if you prefer like cookies or like sweet, fruity or baked goods type of thing for your lip scrubs, I would say that's probably not the product for you. Next up is the blush brush. So super cute. It's like a rose. The only thing, I did use this. I was very impressed with how soft the hair is. No problems at all. I used it to put on my foundation. And I had no brush streaks, no nothing like that. It was like a dream. Super cute design. Everything is good with that, except that with the rose stem part, I did feel my hand kind of starting to cramp up after a while of trying to blend my foundation together. So I ended up moving my hand up here onto like the rosebud itself to finish blending. So there is that. I have a notification on my phone. Shoo. Anyway, the eyeshadow brush is also a rose. It's dirty because I used it. But some of the reviews that I saw had said that this like scrapes your eye when you're trying to blend. I don't know if maybe they just have a different method than me or what, but I didn't have that problem. When I blend eyeshadow, I tilt my head back and blend that way instead of like sticking it in my crease and just like rubbing it around. So maybe that's like a method thing, but something to look out for if you're concerned with stuff like that. So as far as the brushes go, I feel like they're both very soft and I feel like they both blend really well. Next one is the cream blush. So a lot of YouTube reviews that I saw were really intimidated because it's black, but it's not actually black. It's like it's like the Jelly Bomb in that it kind of changes with your pH. So it turns like a flushed berry kind of color. I am not a blush person. I kind of dig the whole dead look personally, but I found that it actually looked really pretty and am fully intending on wearing it. So if that says anything to you, it's pretty. Let's see. What order do I have these in? Okay. Probably should have pulled them out of the package in hindsight, but then I couldn't have showed the packaging. Whatever. Okay, so eyeshadow quads. There are 3 of them. The first one is House of Thorns, which is this one. They all have this like lace kind of embossing on the packaging, which I thought was super pretty. This one is not vegan, if that matters to you. Pretty sure it's because of the red shade. If I'm not mistaken, they probably used Carmide to make the red instead of something like a pigment or whatever. So not vegan. The red shade's not vegan, but they are still cruelty free. So there's that. Okay, that was the other thing. So the red in this I was super excited about, and it swatches really well, but it's very dry when you touch it, and it's not super pigmented. Sorry, I'm like getting sick. Oh, I should also disclaimer. When I first try out a product, especially like an eyeshadow or something like that, I do not use any primers. I do not use any eyeshadow base. I do not use any like paint pots or anything like that. I don't even use MAC, but that's not the point. I literally just put it directly on my eyeball because I want to see how the product itself works without any help. So I do feel like the red shade would have worked a lot better if there had been like a white base down or something like that. Moving on. So this one is Secret Garden Rendezvous. Okay, which is this one right here. This one is a really pretty transition color, and this one up here, the shimmer shade right here, is actually the highlight that I have on today. Super, super pretty. And then the last one is Bed of Roses, which looks like this. Also super pretty. They all have the lace design, in case I hadn't mentioned that yet. Overall, with the eyeshadows, I feel like there is a little bit of fallout, there's a little bit of fallout with the shimmer shades, which is not a big deal for me personally. I do find that a lot of eyeshadows, regardless of brand, being, drugstore, high-end, whatever, sometimes eyeshadows just have fallout. It's not the end of the world. Most of the time, I actually end up doing my eyeshadow before my skin, just for that reason, regardless of the brand that I'm using. So that is not a big deal to me. I did have a little bit of trouble with the pigmentation, with the blood red in House of Thorns and the burgundy shade right here, this one. It's a very pretty burgundy. It too is very dry, swatches beautifully, but when put on the eye, it does look a lot less burgundy, which I thought was kind of odd. It looked a lot darker. Again, with a white base, that could be eliminated, but that was just by itself. I did not have any issues with blending or patchiness, though, with any of the shades, other than the red shade. The red shade was patchy and wasn't very, red. So there's that. Again, I don't use primers or eyeshadow bases or anything like that the first time, so with a base, I have no doubt it'll work just fine. Moving on to the lippies. So, I'm kind of I'm kind of a dick. I hate when people use the word matte as dry. Matte does not mean dry. Matte means flat. So, not shiny. Kind of a pet peeve because I'm OCD as balls. So these two are, High Shine. So they're technically like a liquid lipstick, but they are a high shine lipstick. They do not dry down at all. They are not supposed to dry down. This is Bud Romance, play on Bad Romance. I got that Wet n Wild. That was cute. But Bud Romance and Petal Poison is the pink one. They do not dry down. They are a gloss type of feel. They are pigmented, though. They are a pigmented gloss. So it's like a wet lipstick or a creamy lipstick. Which I'm from the era before liquid lipsticks. So I don't really give a shit about that. It doesn't have to be matte and dry for me. That being said, matte lipsticks and dried down liquid lipsticks are both, they're nice. The last two are Kiss of Death, which is this kind of blood red shade, and Deviant Damsel, which is like this purpley, like midnight blue purple shade. These are both matte. They both dry down so that they're dry. Okay, with Deviant Damsel, there's a little tiny bit of transfer, but almost unnoticeable. I will say, let's see. Okay, so I would like to give props to Wet n Wild for improving their lipstick formula with their liquid cat suits. I do have a couple others in other colors. These ones, like the original formula, it's very sticky on your, like your lips stick together even though it dries, which I found really irritating. Um, and then the Midnight Mermaid collection lipsticks, they are like, it's like you get a blob of cream and then you have to slide it around. Like it's not a liquid, like a liquid lipstick. It's not a gloss. I don't know. It was just a very strange consistency. Very hard to explain, and it's not really going to make sense unless you've tried these. However, I found the colors to be worth it. The pigmentation was okay. It just kind of takes a layer or two. With the rust color and the orange color, I felt they needed like a layer or two, but the blue and green were fine. That being said, however, moving into that, I feel like Kiss of Death is very similar. Like everybody and their mother and their cousin and their dog have a blood red lipstick, but it is a very popular color. It's also very pretty, so, you know, and it wouldn't really make sense if they didn't have a blood red shade in a red rose collection. I would also, where is it? Okay, so the Rebel Rose lipsticks are not sticky on your lips. Like they're a lot more comfortable. They don't stick together. They're comfortable. They don't feel dry. Like they're a lot more comfortable. And then, okay, that was the last thing. Okay, so they also improved the doe foots for the Rebel Rose collection. Either that or I just got a whack collection with every other lipstick I've gotten from them. But see, this is the blue one from Midnight Mermaid. The doe foot is very fuzzy, and when you put pressure on it, like the little fuzz bits kind of fan out, so it makes for very messy lip lines, which drive me insane. For Deviant Damsel, because that's the one I'm wearing right now, if you see, the doe foot is a lot more like solid. It's a lot less fuzzy, and it's not like it's got some bend to it, but it's not like flimsy. It flows with your lips better, I feel, and it doesn't fan out and get lipstick all over the place because, like I said, the messy lip lines drives me insane. So no problems with that. Overall, I would say if you're a fan of like creepy cute or dark pretty, gothic romances, dark romantic type of things, this is probably going to be right up your alley. If you like roses, especially like black roses or dark rose themed things, if you like the smell of roses and the aesthetic of it, this is probably going to be right up your alley. So far, everything works perfectly fine. There was a little trouble with the eyeshadows, but like I said, I have no doubt they would work better with like a base or of some kind. So yeah, all together, I got the entire collection for $63 and change. Free shipping, it's like 7 to 10 day shipping. So $60 and then tax, making it like 63 out the door for all of this. So if it's something you'd be interested in, you might want to pick it up because unfortunately it is limited edition. I would also like to disclaim Wet n Wild has no fucking clue who I am. I bought this with my own money. Technically my fiance bought it for me, but that's not the point. It's like my aesthetic as fuck. So I needed it, okay? But yeah, no. So I'm not saying anything good about it because Wet n Wild told me to or anything bullshit like that. Like, let's be real, no one watches my videos anyway. I do. Like, it's for fun. But I do genuinely stand by everything that I said in the video. Some stuff is fucking rad pandas. I did have a little trouble with the eyeshadows, but literally everything else was fine. So, yeah. That's all for me. Okay. Well, bye! Wow.